I don't know if you'll remember from the last video, but I showcased my fully 3D printed project that I had been working on for the past like 2 months. It was finally finished. So last weekend, Saturday, we went ahead and took it. We tested it, played a game. I actually played almost the whole day with it. Well, one full session because of the night session. I used my HPA gun, but played a full session with this. It worked amazing. Now, I do gotta say there are some things that gotta get changed. I had to get fixed with this. I don't know if you can tell, but right here on the side, I do have my other my ARP9. I showcased it on the last video. It was right here, right on top of here, and it was my stock one, the one that I used for the first time, or my very first gun actually. Um, so I do have it in pieces right now, or somewhat taken apart. Excuse me. Now the reason for that is I don't know if you'll remember. I mentioned that the barrel I had cut from an M4, which was like a really long barrel. So I cut it from an M4 and then made it smaller, which it was giving me issues. The FPS was like really low, and you can like really tell that it was really low and it wasn't accurate after like give or take like 50, 70 feet. The BBs will really start curving to the right, like really bad. So it was kind of basically useless at like longer range, but short range, it worked really good. In the beginning, when I first tested it, it only shot 220 FPS, which is like 120 under what it's supposed to be shooting. So it shot like really slow. We took it apart. We did the O-ring, and then we changed the cylinder because the cylinder had a hole on it, which basically allowed blowback on the AEG. So we changed the cylinder. We changed the piston O-ring, and what else did we do? I think that was it for the first test. Put it back together, tested it again. It shot 260, 280, but like it really fluctuated, so it wasn't like consistent at all. So then we took it apart again and we put a piston on it. Same thing. Well, we didn't know exactly what size the piston was, so we just put a random piston on there. But same thing. Then we figured that it was an air seal problem, so I went ahead and tried to put an O-ring on the hop up. It made it worse. It went from 280, 260 down to like 240, 230 again. So I took that off, tested it again, and it went back up to 260, but it was like really like all over the place. Like sometimes you'll get like 290, sometimes you'll get like 220, other times you'll get like 240, so it's not really consistent at all, which like I said, it has to do with the air seal. So what I did today, and I should have recorded it, but what I did today basically is um, I took off the barrel. I went ahead and disassembled this gun, took the hop up, put it to the side because I'm actually running a gate EON hop up on this one. So I took the hop up off. I removed the barrel from this one. I took the bucking. The bucking was a blue one, so a little bit more stiffer. The only problem is that when I tested it with this one, the BBs were getting stuck, so it wasn't shooting. So I put the yellow bucking back on, but I used the barrel from the ARP9, put it in here, and it is actually shorter than what the one that I cut. So I'm gonna have to redesign this top piece to be, I think it's like an inch and a half to 2 inches shorter up here. So maybe like this much. So it'll be up to here. Um, and don't ever look under a barrel if the gun is connected to a battery. If it's loaded, never put your eyes on the barrel and always wear protection. Right now, I don't have anything connected, so it's fine. But yeah, like I was saying, we had to remove the bucking, put a different bucking on there, the yellow one, and I tested it, and it does shoot. It seems like it's shooting the same FPS every time. The only problem is that I don't actually own a chrono, so I don't know um, how much it's actually shooting. It could be consistent at 220. It could be consistent at 340, 320. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go ahead and take this apart. It seems like it's shooting fine now, but the only thing that didn't get touched throughout the whole build of this gun was the piston head. So the piston head has a O-ring And O-ring, since I took like 3 4 different guns, I took like 4 different guns and I took it all apart and just mix and match parts to make this work. So I think what happened was that I didn't clean the O-ring and I didn't replace the O-ring from the, or re-stretch it from the piston head. So I think that's where the air leakage is actually coming from. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart. Now it does take a while and it is pretty hard because of that switch mechanism that I put in the back. There's an extra wiring that needs to get removed, extra parts. So it's a little bit of a headache, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart and then I'm gonna clean and re-stretch that O-ring. I'm not gonna put a new one for now. I just want to see how the old one performs. But if this continues to give me issues, I'm gonna go ahead and actually take the gearbox from this ARP9 and I'm gonna just go ahead and build it off of this one. The good thing about my build is that it's compatible with every version 2 gearbox. So any gun that has a version 2 gearbox is gonna work on this. Not always. There might be a little tweaking here and there. So if this doesn't give me the results that I needed to give, because it is a KWA gearbox, which KWA is one of the worst companies for airsoft. Not necessarily now. This is from a really old gun, so it could be just that. I was gonna actually buy a KWA, one of the newer ones, so that I can actually transfer into this, but there's no reason for me to be spending money if I already have extra guns that I can take apart. So I still have this one. I still have like 2 other ones that I can take apart. So if this doesn't give me the results that I need, like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and take this one and put it into this one, because the only problem that this one has is that sometimes it shoots, sometimes it doesn't. But it has to do with the trigger board, and the MOSFET in the back, because it came undone. I looked at it one time and it had cut off. So yeah, it's just the MOSFET and the trigger, um, and the trigger board. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the gate titan MOSFET from this one, which is all sensors. So all the sensors are gonna get put into this one. So therefore, I won't need the MOSFET that's on this one, and I won't need the trigger board. All I would need is the MOSFET from this one. Put it in here, and it should work fine. The only problem with that is that I have to take this one apart. I have to take this one apart, swap parts, and hope that it works, and hope that everything gets put back together the same. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. So what I think I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, take it apart, and do the piston head. Now, I know you see the sight. It used to be on my other ARP9, my black and gold one. The tracer as well used to be on my black and gold one. This part did break anyway, so I do have to replace it. I'm gonna reprint this. I do have metal threads that I can put in here, so I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. So this doesn't happen again because it is broken now. What else? The batteries on the site are dead, and I tried to get some new ones, but they didn't have any more. So we're out, completely out, and I couldn't replace them. Which honestly, this is really helpful with this gun. This is actually very accurate. Out of like 25 to 50 feet after that, they're all over the place. But again, I need to get batteries for this. I'm gonna take this apart, do the piston head, and I think that's pretty much it. Put it back together and just wait for the weekend to retest it, because we're gonna go back again on Friday this time, not Saturday, because we got plans for Saturday. But we do play every weekend, at least once a week. If you guys want to go play with us, we do play in Sacramento, California, Airsoft Extreme. So go ahead and give them a follow on Instagram as well, because they're a really good company. The people there are amazing. They've been helping me. They've been helping me with this build the whole time, mechanically wise. Like there's things that I still don't know. Like I learned how to take it apart. I learned how to rewire stuff. I learned a lot of things. But there's things like FPS drop and jewel creep and all that stuff that I still don't understand. So they've been kind enough to teach me a little bit of of how it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this apart and uh, hope hope it seals, and hope the FPS comes back up, because throughout the gameplay, it was really good gameplay. The only problem was that sometimes the BBs would lob. It would just like, it would be like me throwing a BB to someone. Well, not even throwing it, just kind of like tossing it, which caused it for me to have to shoot extra times just for them to feel the BB. So we need to get that fixed, because it is frustrating when you hit someone and they don't go out, and it's not their fault. It's your gun, because your gun is not shooting hard enough for them to feel it. So I'm gonna get this figured out. Again, I love this gun, and I played with it. It was amazing, great, great time with it. It's just I need to figure out that FPS, because it's not where I want it to be. So let's go ahead and take it apart, and then we'll go from there. Nothing. We don't need to touch anything here besides this top piece that needs to get reprinted. Now from here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop this out. And I am gonna neatly put them on this side, because I do have a lot of parts from the other guns over here. So I'm gonna move these to the side. Move all this to the side. And just put all the pieces and parts on this side. So okay. Now this is the biggest problem that I run into while putting together this gun, and also disassembling it. The wiring, for some reason, the ground wire that goes to the motor doesn't really like to cooperate. So, but I think we did it fine this time. Okay. That may have seemed like a really long time. I promise you that was not. That's actually the easiest it's been taking it out. Trust me, once you get to building something custom like this, it doesn't get easier. It just gets harder every time. I'm not gonna lie though, I have gotten faster since the first time I took this apart. I think the main reason is because I've had to take this apart over like 100 times, and I'm not exaggerating. Trust me. It was just giving me problems after problems after problems, and I think that's the main reason why I learned so much, because of how many problems this project has given me. Because I've had to figure out so many different issues, and most of them I had to figure out on my own. The only ones that I didn't have to figure out on my own were like the FPS drops, but like when my gun wasn't shooting, I had to figure out on my own. When the gears weren't spinning, I had to figure it out on my own. It's not easy. And honestly, I could never wish for this to be easy. Because if it were easy, anybody would be able to do it. But since it's not easy, there's only a selective amount of people that are able to do this. And thankfully, since I've had to struggle so much, I'm one of those people. So let me go ahead and take this apart. You want to be careful here, because if the spring were to come out, like right there, all your parts would go flying. Don't ask me how I know. But I'm gonna go ahead and remove the spring, keep all that together, and now it's definitely gonna be the cylinder head. I can already tell. The only reason I can tell is because that cylinder actually came apart before anything else did. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some alcohol and get everything cleaned up and see if I can re-stretch that O-ring. It's alright, it evaporates pretty fast. Like, this is a brand new nozzle, there's no reason for this to be dirty, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty dirty already. So there's the nozzle. Yeah, this is pretty dirty actually. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wash this. And I don't have extra O-rings for this one, so I was gonna see if I can just remove it and stretch it like I did to the other one. Well, in the other one we ended up just putting a new one on, but it looks like, yeah, there's no seal here. Yeah. There's no seal here. So let me see if I can get this washed. If I can get all this washed, and then I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure I don't have an O-ring for this. So I'm gonna see if I can remove this carefully without splitting it, because I was trying to remove it right now. For some reason my camera only decides to record for a certain amount of time, so I lost a lot of the footage. But as I was saying, what I was saying was, I don't think I was gonna be able to get the O-ring out, but I actually did. I got the O-ring out. I got the cylinder head cleaned up, well, as much as I could. This is from like a really old gun, so I got it cleaned up as much as I could. This is pretty good. It looks like it's all good. I don't know if I mentioned yet, but these are not really that good, the plastic ones. We want to upgrade to a metal one eventually, but for now it would have to do. Just while we do the testing before we start making these, making more of these guns. But should be clean enough. All I have to do now is wait, because we put that O-ring around the cylinder to stretch it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for this to get out. I'll give it a couple hours. See what else. Everything should be fine now. All I'm gonna do is put the O-ring back on here, put some grease on it, seal it back up, and put the nozzle back on, grease everything up as I should, or as needed. It looks like the gears are a little bit dry already, so I'm gonna go ahead and re-grease these. Everything should be on point. Trigger's still good. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this. This is clean. All we gotta do is wait. So I'm gonna wait a couple hours, come back, put it back together, and then we'll test it tomorrow, because it is like It's 11 p.m. right now, so we'll come back and test it tomorrow, um, and we'll probably put it back together tomorrow as well. All right, we'll be right back. It's the next day. This is still stretched on here on the cylinder. I don't know if you can tell, it's right here. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. I'm gonna clean it off. I'm gonna go ahead and lube everything that I need to lube, and then put everything back together where it's supposed to go. So let's go ahead and do that now. And then I might cut off the putting back together part, because my camera can only record 22 minutes apparently. I don't have enough storage. So I'm going to go ahead and lube all this, put it all back together, and then we'll test fire it. We'll go to the backyard since it is daytime. So we'll go ahead and test fire it, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and put this back together. Um, and it doesn't seem like it's ripped or anything, so we should be fine. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna lube that. So it doesn't look like it's gonna work, actually. I can see there's a lot of leakage on the sides. We might be able to get it to fire. Well, somewhat consistent. But the problem is gonna be the cylinder head. I am pushing on it now, and I'm seeing that there's a lot of air leakage coming around the cylinder head. And I stretched the O-ring, so maybe the O-ring. Here, let me see if I have another O-ring. I'm gonna check for another O-ring. I should have recorded it probably, but we're back inside. I took it outside. I tested it. It's dialed in. I didn't see maybe one, like every maybe one out of the whole mag. One out of the whole magazine just kind of lobbed, but it was one of the first two. So yeah, that it seems like it's working fine now. I don't know if you can tell by the lemon. The lemon's pretty destroyed. About like 50 BBs in there, but I'll show you. There's a bunch of holes on there. That was about like 25, 50 feet away, so pretty far, and it it went through the lemon pretty good. So the gun is finally dialed in. The only thing I need to do now is put batteries on the sight that in, and reprint the top. But the problem is that I gotta put a tracer on this. The only problem is that if I do plastic threads, they don't they break. That's what happened here. So I got metal ones, but I'm wondering if I should super glue a nut in here or what I need to do. But the gun's done. It works perfectly fine. We're gonna try it out this weekend again and see how that goes. It looks like it hurts. I mean, it looks like it's gonna hurt pretty good. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, out of 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be giving one of these away. So the faster we get there, the faster I get to give one of these away to you guys. So thank you guys again for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.